Good evening. Isn't it wonderful weather for lying there in the fan, no clothes on, spraying water so that you just stay cool? I want to go around the kids and play in the paddling pool with the grandkids. We've got a new one now, it's a couple of feet deep. Oh, to be sat in that would be heavenly. How is everyone? Apart from warm. I can see you. Let me see. You've had your fan on all day. Um, I know Holly's not feeling the best, so I don't know whether she will be popping in or whether she'll be just in the chat. Good evening. Who else have we got in there? My wonderful partner is there. My wonderful Roger. I can now have a fan on without being deafened. Thank you, baby. Love you. Okay. Jenny, good evening. You've had shite weather. Oh, well. Does look like it might break. I'm sort of hoping I've got the windows open. In the hope that we actually get a break. We had some thunder at stupid o'clock this morning. No, that was yesterday. I'm getting it. I don't function in this heat. I don't function in this heat. Not well at all. Good evening, Phil. Hope you're well. Let's move that across there slightly so I can see it. The only trouble I've got up here is where I've got the camera, so that the camera is looking at me. It's right here in the middle, but so that the camera is looking at me and not sort of down from up on top of one of the monitors. It gets in the way of half the screen sometimes. So, Stuart, good evening. You could. Oh well. Must just be the Midlands then. Anybody else got it? No. Missy's got it warm. So she's down south. We're hot and sticky. So it must just be restricted to central England and the east side. Stitch, good evening, darling. Say hello to little Stitch for me, because I know it makes his day. Oh, I wish I was cold. That would be marvellous if I was cold. Roger's got some strange things going on. I'm sure he won't mind me telling you. Last couple of days, he's been suffering with his feet swelling up. Anybody think he was pregnant? So we're a little worried about that, especially going into the weekend. But he's just been put on some of the tablets, so it could be a side effect of those, or it could be a reaction to the hot weather. Not a problem, Jen. You can lurk. That's not an issue. Thank you, Stitch. Thank you, little Stitch. Thank you for saying hi to everybody. It's always nice to have you with us. He has got them up when he's not sitting round at the desk. So he's spending half the time with them up on the chair. He's wandering around a bit to keep them moving. And yeah, he's actually been coming up and lying on the bed as being easier than having his feet on the chair. And yeah, he's drinking water. It's got squash in it, but he is drinking water. So oh. I'll just stretch my leg out and kick my drink over. Good job it's got a bottle on. Top on the bottle. I didn't want to tell them about the wind. I was being nice. Look, I don't want to live with him at the moment. It stinks. Where was it? I'd been, it was granddaughter's birthday. So I've gone over there for the evening and I walked in and I thought, I know he's been suffering with his wind, but this is horrendous. He hit me as I walked in the front door. So, yeah, I've now taken to sleeping with a Sprout can of air freshener by the side of the bed, so that if I wake up and it gets too much, I can relieve the pressure in the room. But he stopped taking the tablets for a few days, see if it wafts away, anything improves. If it gets any worse, he'll be at the hospital over the weekend. If nothing gets better over the weekend, he'll be at the GP on Monday. So the best thing we can do at the moment is because that's the only thing that's changed really, is those tablets being added to the list. We're cutting them out. It won't kill him. It's only folic acid, so won't kill him cutting them out. But if that is what's causing the issue, then hey, it is what it is. Last week I was going to tell you what I found out about the PTSD camp in Cornwall, because we'd mentioned it. I think it was on Rogers, and people were saying how was it going and all the rest of it, and where was it. And, I'm actually friends with both camps now on Facebook, but I know some of you don't do Facebook. So I'm not going to share the screen, and I'm not going to mention names because it is a private members site. So I'm not gonna put it out there. I don't want to upset people. But I will say the camp in Cornwall is St Austell, and it's about 2/3 of a mile from the beaches. It's 15 acres of woodland, and yes, it's open. Yes, it's licensed for camping. Yes, it can be a respite holiday for veterans and family. There must be other ways of contacting them. I know they are linked to Joe at the PTSD camp in Bath. So I'm sure you'd be able to get in touch with Joe, and she'd give you some contact details if you're in contact with Joe. Other than that, just add them on Facebook if you're on Facebook, and I'm sure they'll be happy to have some sort of support. But PTSD Camp Cornwall is now open. One of the posts I saw was asking how you get to the camp. If you don't drive, if you're coming by public transport, and get into St Austell, and it said somebody would meet you. So, but there's all sorts of things going on down there. So, if you want to contribute, or you think it might help you, yeah, it's up. PTSD Camp Cornwall is now up and running. Might be worth opening a Facebook account if only to get in touch with them. But thank you, Holly. I wasn't actually going to do that, but hey, it's a link to it. You've got to ask to become part of the group, and it's up to them if they want to let you on. I can always see about getting details, a contact number, or if anybody if you don't want to do Facebook, and you do want to get in touch with them, drop me a line, and I'll get in touch with them, let them know your situation, and either pass on your details to them so they can contact you, or get some contact details for them. So, that's the Bath one. Okay. So they are linked. They're both available on Facebook. But I can't see any other contact details at the moment. But yeah, wouldn't mind a trip down to the Cornwall one myself if it's only 2/3 of a mile to the beach. Maybe we'll go and donate them some fishing gear. Forget to bring it back. Roger's got some he wants to donate to somewhere. That'd be good. Go see them and donate them some fishing gear. He's ignoring me. What? Do you want to come up, babe, as I'm on my own? No. Thank you. Love you too. Stuff you then, you can stay down there. Yeah, you can stay down there. Those of you who've been asking about Resist, got an email from him. Today, bless him. I can keep you informed. He said he's okay. Hope we are, and everyone else is. And he said, London's so bad, I just need to keep strong and positive, as being involved with YouTube started getting me down. So I've taken a break to protect my mental health. Please send me my regards to Dan and everyone, and see you soon. Cheers, Resist. So there you go. Not a problem, Resist. If you're in the background, your details and messages have been passed on to everybody. And it's nice that he wants to keep us informed of how he's doing. Let us know he's still out there, because we do. We're a caring bunch. I don't know why. We bother caring, because some of these idiots we care about just, no point. If there's anything going on in your life, I will say keep in touch with somebody, whether it's me, Holly, Roger, whoever. It makes no difference. But at least if you keep in touch with one person, that one person can then spread the word that you're okay, or actually you're not okay and you do need help, whatever the situation is. But we're all here for everybody. So, yeah, please don't. Good evening, Mo. I will reply to this and send him your love. Missy, you want to come up? Yeah, hang on. Yeah, let's copy that and get onto there. And there we are. There's a post for you, Missy. Sorry. And dum. There we go. Yep. Caught up again now. I'd managed to stop the chat halfway up. So Miss will be joining us in a moment. I've just sent her the link. Oh, there we go. Good evening, my dear. How are you?
Oh, hi, Heather. Thank you for letting me come up.
Not a problem. Not a problem at all.
I've been, you know, we've all got issues. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to say that I've been so down, and I just wanted to just come up today to be with like-minded ladies and feel like I've got.
So if you want to spill everything and get it out and over with, I will sit and listen. But if you want to do that privately, you can do it with me tomorrow. Okay? It's up to you. If you want to do it now, fine. If you just want to try and get into a happy place with us, then we'll do that. And as I say, you can catch up with me in private so that the world does not have to know your information, which might be.
Yes, and thank you, Heather. I'm just happy and thankful that you've allowed me up here to be with yourself.
That's the whole point.
And Roger and other people on this chat, and it's lovely because otherwise I don't have anybody else. So thank you.
I know what you mean. Do excuse me, but I'm trying to talk to you and reply to resist while the comments are still findable. Jenny sends regards. Stitch sends love.
Yeah.
So
when I come up on the panel, I lose the chat. Even though there's this button.
Holly's sending you big hugs.
Oh, thank you, Holly.
She put, sorry I'm not up there, Lizzie. Big hugs to you. Heart, heart, heart.
Well, I'm sending big hugs to you, Holly, because I know you've been going through rubbish right now, and I'm sending them back.
I'm not repeating yours because she can hear you, so. That's the only trouble with it's only trouble with joining on a phone. It's difficult to see the chat. But can you not turn off the video and get the chat up on the screen that way?
I've no idea, Heather.
Roger's saying no.
I've no idea because I'm not that tech savvy.
Roger's saying no. Okay.
All I know is that I've pushed the chat button in the past and then I go off the panel. So I really don't know. But perhaps if I had a laptop or sort of better tech, maybe I could do it. I don't know.
I mean, I've never tried to join on with a phone onto StreamYard, but I know on other things you can get the image and or um, the chat. So,
Yeah.
so what have you been doing apart from getting yourself into a bad place? Have you not done anything good this week? Have you not had any fun at all?
Well, no, I don't normally have fun these days.
Oh,
Um, I'm still waiting for my results from an ECG, and I've got an angiogram coming up. So I'm waiting for all that. But hey, but it is hard to, as we get older, it is really hard to cope. I mean, when I was younger, I was a feisty old bird, and I like to think I'm still a bit feisty, but it does get harder as we get older, especially when you've got no one around you. And
I was going to say it's difficult being feisty when there's nobody to watch, nobody to join in, nobody to have a laugh with, and it's just you and the cat or whatever. Have you got an animal of any sort?
I wish I did. I wish I did have a cat. But I'm worried that I won't be able to look after them the way they should be looked after. I mean, I had a cat years ago, and I moved when I was in my 20s, and I had a cat because I was living with a man, and I wasn't really into the children. Oh, he had 2 children, so I had 2, in inverted commas, stepchildren who I loved, but maybe we weren't ready for marriage or whatever. So we got a cat. And then when we split up, I took the cat back to my parents, and they looked after the cat, and they paid for all the injections and all the vet stuff and all the rest of it. And then when I moved home again, or moved out of my family home, I couldn't take Jessie because she
She made her own there.
yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's why we ended up with Puss, because my daughter stopped here for a while. And dogs are far easier to move from home to home. So she moved on and took the dog with her, and it was easier to leave the cat here. It was only supposed to be short term, to be honest, while she got herself settled in. And everything else, and then it was a case of actually Roger said he didn't want her to go, so we ended up keeping her. But yeah, it's always worrying when you try and relocate a cat that they're just going, yeah, Roger just said he didn't want to let her go. Loves the cat more than me.
strangely enough, Mrs. W, Heather, sorry. Strangely enough, I don't actually believe that. But
what? That he loves that animal more than me?
no, I don't. Absolutely not. He loves you, and he damn well knows what side his bread's buttered.
Oh yeah.
But I'm sorry, but as usual, men sometimes don't behave the way they should. But they damn well know what side their bread's buttered.
Oh, don't get me. No. I'm not saying he doesn't love me. I'm not saying he doesn't.
Oh no, and I didn't mean to
And I'm
imply
not
that.
saying he'd get jiggy with the cat either. It's a different relationship. Obviously, it's like the your wife and your child. The cat's the child.
Yes.
So yeah, Puss gets spoiled left, right, and centre by us both. At the moment, with her not being very well, she's I don't know why I bothered buying cat food because she's not being fed it. She's getting chicken, she's getting ham, corned beef, pastrami. Basically, any meat that we're eating, she gets some. She had some pork chop towards the last weekend. So,
Well, when my dad died, and my cat, well, I call her my cat, but Jessie was a lady, and she didn't like men, but the only man she liked was my dad. And when my dad died, it was awful because she stopped eating. I'm sure she had depression. She was always a very tiny cat, and she went to she looked like she was she looked like she was abused. I mean, she lost her fur, she lost weight, and it was so embarrassing because obviously we didn't treat her like. I mean, God, she was given the earth, and it was so awful that it, you know she. And I still believe to this day she was suffering from depression. I don't know whether cats can suffer from depression, but I can assure you she was not mistreated. But I really think that she suffered from losing my dad, because that was
any animal will mourn the loss of a loved one. They all. We've seen the stories about the dogs that won't leave the master's grave, or somebody goes into hospital and the animal sits outside the hospital till they come out. Thank you, Lost Souls. That's what I was. They pine. They pine for their owner. But even if they don't understand that somebody has died, they understand somebody's gone missing. So, and our little furball hates it when we go on holiday, which is why I said I'm not having another one. If I have anything, it's something we can take with us because I'm not leaving something on their own to get depressed again.
Yeah, and that's really why I said what I just said, Miss Heather, because I know that your cat is, sorry, I don't know her name or his name, her, but I know she's loved and she's cared for.
Oh yeah.
And you know, and
she was originally Puss in Booties. That's her proper name, because she was named by my grandson. Because she's nearly as old as he is, and he's 19 soon. He was about 2 when they got her. So, Roger is suggesting we take a fish. So I can't do that. Take a place. No, you've got to catch one. But all of Roger's cats through all his life have all been called Wazza. Wazza 1, Wazza 2, Wazza 3. So we've renamed this one now Wazza since she's become Roger's cat. But they do look at me strange at the vets. Every time it's a Wazza. Why have you called her Wazza? My partner says all cats do is eat, sleep, and waz. So,
right, I'm showing my ignorance here, but what does Waz mean?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You think I'd know that by now, but oh, there's a dog out there not very happy.
Yeah, it's our Finn. That's the neighbour's dog. Said his name. He's now looking to see if he can find out. where it's coming from. Good evening, Graham. Yeah, Graham knows what a was is. It's a boy thing. Boys have wazzies. Go for a waz. Girls don't. So, well, you could consider getting another pet, Liz.
I could.
I don't know
But
why you wouldn't.
I don't know if I have the money to look after them. And, I know we can go to Blue Cross or someone to help them and all the rest of it. But I don't, at the moment, unfortunately, I don't have the transport to go to my nearest Blue Cross centre. So my sister actually had just got a cat. It was from a lady that couldn't look after her anymore. And it's been so lovely. My sister has been given someone, someone to look after, and when you've got a cat or a dog, you do have a purpose,
Yeah.
And
You could always get goldfish.
no, I don't think so.
I don't think a goldfish would quite do it.
No, I'm sorry. Nothing against goldfish, but it's not really me. And I'd rather them live in the sea rather than a bowl.
What about if it's a goldfish don't live in the sea?
No, well, I guess that when I said it, but what I meant was I didn't want to captivate them or capture them in a bowl. And I'm sure they're lovely, but
no, you want something that's a little more tactile than a fish. I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
So maybe I will, and if I do, I certainly will get a cat from a rescue. I don't think I can manage a dog right now, although I know they're lovely. And I used to look after a neighbour's dog once a week, but I personally can't cope with that right now, so it would have to be a cat. But I want to be able to be able to do that.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Have you thought about, and Holly's your girl for this one. It's a shame she's not with us tonight, but I'm sure if you thought about it, she'll be around. She might be able to help you. But Holly ended up with Archie because she fostered animals.
Oh yes, I think that is wonderful, and I think it's a mega responsibility, and I respect anybody who does that, but I'm not sure that I'm capable of much right now.
No, what I'm saying is it might help you, and rather than a long-term commitment, it becomes a short-term commitment. I'm going to help the rescue place by fostering an animal short term until it finds a home, or until they find a home for somebody else, and this one can go back and go out into the big wide world and find its forever home. You're not committing to a forever animal. It's a short term help. And I'm
also fostering and adopting. I was adopted.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you right now. I don't have the confidence in myself to do much at all, to be honest.
Yeah, Holly's just put there's a website, Borrow My Doggy.
Yes, I've heard of that.
It's where you can spend time
Yeah.
with the dog, but you don't have to have the full-time responsibility. So you could maybe take it for a walk, take it to the park, have it round your house for half an hour, or it's whatever you feel you could manage. That might be another option.
I'm having a real problem actually having any positive stuff about me.
I appreciate that.
I don't think I'm in a place to. I wish I was, but I don't think I'm in a place right now to help even a cat or a dog, because I can't even
They help you.
think. Yes, I agree with that.
It works both ways. That's why I'm suggesting it, because it works both ways. When you've got no reason to go for a walk, to go out, to do this, to do that, you end up staying in the house, becoming housebound, becoming agoraphobic, and
Yes.
everything else that goes with it. If you've got an animal that has to go for a walk, you have to take it for a walk. You have to go out. You have to do these things. You have to make sure you get the food in. You have to do these. I'm not reading that out, Roger. But it's not about you providing a short-term home for an animal. It's about finding an animal that will help you.
Thank you. I don't want to bring this stream down. I don't want to bring my negativity to you and the people that
are listening. Way of lifting you.
So I'm very sorry, and I thank you for allowing me up on the stream. And I wish all of you respect and love. Thank you.
But we're only trying to find a way. Lizzie, we're only trying to find a way that would help you. It's difficult when you've got nobody in your life. I've got a couple of pets I have to look after. There's one that's easier to please than the other at the moment, because Roger eats anything I put in front of him. But Lizzie, I'm sorry you felt you had to drop out. You didn't have to go. If you're feeling a bit brighter in a bit, you can come back, because you don't bring the stream down. The stream is here for people if they want to talk, they want to share, that they want to be part of. Yeah, I know what you mean, Graham. I'd love a dog, but our cat just would not have it. She was always the boss. When my daughter had the cat and the Staffy, and the Staffy would cower. If the cat was on the bottom of the stairs, that was it. The Staffy wasn't coming out of the kitchen. She wasn't coming past her, because she knew she'd get a bop going past. And our cat was all claws, still is. But dogs and cats often don't get on. But I'm not having another cat that needs leaving behind. And I can't take a cat fishing. Can't really take a dog fishing, but at least you stand a better chance. So, is there anybody else out there that would like to come and join me? Sorry, what was that? You will.
No, I was just waving. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, me and my big feet.
Yeah, don't sit there going, I will, and then say you didn't want to, because you know I'll just throw you off again. It's just having power over you for a change.
No, I mean, there isn't really a pet other than a dog that you could take on holiday. Oh, yeah, like a fish or a stick insect or something, but it's neither of us have got the energy or the physical strength to do what a dog needs. You know, we haven't got the energy to walk it, and it'd be unfair on the dog.
We could have an Archie.
Even little dogs need walking.
Walk it to the end of the garden and back, it'd be worn out.
What you do is just let it out the door, tie the fishing line on it, let it go up the end of the road, and then reel it back. So I'm just having a look what's around on Facebook. Oh, Jesus, I'm so tired. Yeah, bloody... They give that folic acid to pregnant women. Now, you said the other day, but, maybe that's connected to why my feet are getting like what they are. But then when I looked it up, it says it helps create red blood cells. Well, it's the red blood cells that are giving me the polycythemia. So why they prescribe that for me, I don't know.
Well, it says folic acid can give you wind and make you feel bloated, so...
Oh, it definitely gives me fucking wind.
So at least if you don't take...
There's no point trying to get to a GP because they're going on strike now. They're going to be working to rule. So there's even less chance of getting an appointment with them. Yeah, that's what I said, Jen. They take the blood out of me to get rid of the red blood cells and then give me something that helps create more. So I've stopped taking the fucking things, bollocks to it. But they're still giving me wind. Oh dear.
But no, it may not be that. Maybe something else. Maybe you've become allergic to cheese.
Oh yeah, right. Never had a problem with cheese.
But then you'll sit there and it doesn't matter what you eat. You'll say, "Oh, that's giving me wind. That's giving me wind."
Yeah, but then most things I eat will. I'm definitely not allergic to bacon, Ollie. I will take a pig raw in all its forms other than raw.
I have said everything he eats gives him wind, but at the moment it's like something's crawled up there and died. It is not pleasant.
No.
Makes your eyes water.
And you ain't even got a spare bedroom to get away from it, really, have you?
Well, I could kip down here. I could make you kip down here.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Graham, I've always had an evil ass, but some things make it worse. No, I don't eat sprouts. So. I don't know whether I'm allergic to the man, but part part of the symptoms of polycythemia. It can make your muscles, believe it or not, your big toe swells up, according to their paperwork. Why just your big toe? I don't know. But yeah, certainly a bit weird going on. Angry grandpa. The only time I really get angry, Graham, is in front of the camera when I'm doing the videos. Depends what I'm talking on. I do get wound up. That's why I haven't been doing as much. Because it does wind me up and it doesn't help with my blood pressure. And I can't fucking measure it now. All my machines are broke. And no, I didn't break them. They just cheap, nasty blood pressure monitors that fall apart on you. I'm having to wait for this to melt.
Oh, nice.
Solid lump of orange. Bloody hell, we only got 7 on.
Was 8?
Oh, 9 just now. I have to have a look, see if there's any streams going anywhere. That actually worked quite well the other night.
I was going to say, what's going on around the country tonight? I've heard a
Well,
couple
that's
of
what
things.
I'm just looking at. There's a live stream of a protest going on outside Sunderland City Hall. Looks like the odd bottle now and again get thrown at the cops. There's a line of them in the road. I don't know who's streaming that. Live stream events. Never heard of them. Who else is out there? Trouble is, see, a lot of them YouTube won't advertise. Because, they don't like us being outside the narrative, as it were. So they'll put things on of Great Yarmouth Wild Window Bird Cam, Paris Olympics skyline. Well, that's a bit of fucking farce right from day one, that thing. But there's another one there from Sunderland.
Do you want me to get your watch like mine so that you can keep track of your blood pressure?
I don't know if they monitor it as accurate enough, darling.
Mine comes in close enough.
Yeah. Oh.
This one says mine's where it usually is when I stick it on a machine.
Yeah, one of them won the last 5 minutes. Public Eye is live there. Oh, hang on, I'm not up to date on that one. That's why. Oh, go on, you fucking thing. Oh, YouTube does not like playing the game with me. What? Oh, I thought that was the bloody video making a noise then.
No, it's me having a pee. Have a pee, please, Bob.
Trouble is with these bloody live streams, there's so many fucking trolls in the chat. Hang on, let's bring it up to speed where we are. Oh, the police are going in now.
Yeah, it's boring when you just giving a blow-by-blow of what's happening. That was the problem yesterday. Oh, yeah, look at this. Well, we can't see it.
All right, Graham. Take it easy, mate.
Good night, Graham.
Nah, but all they are is a line of police, riot police with their helmets on. They just run forward for a few meters, frighten the crowd, then walk back again. Usual tactics. But I think we're going to see a lot more of it this weekend. A hell of a lot more, to be honest. they don't. I'm not going to go on too much, otherwise, because it's not this. You're not the sort of stream I talk about it on, but they're bringing it on themselves.
If there was something going on somewhere,
Well, straight away, Starmer says he wants to stop the violence at protests and stop a lot of the protests, the right-wing ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then he provokes people by saying, "Oh, but I'm going to protect all the Muslims and the fucking mosques." So basically, he's provoking a war with the far right by saying that, which is going to roll people straight up. And if you don't follow the narrative that he wants, if you're not left, you're far right. There's no middle ground with him. If you don't follow him, you're far right. End of. Which is wrong. Guy's a fucking idiot. And I think before the end of this year, he'll either have gone or destroyed this country. By the end of this year, I'm predicting. We'll either be under Nazi martial rule, which he'd love. That's what the left do. But that's the way I see it going at the moment. Unfortunately for us. Well, that one is... Okay, no. It's got 2,500 people watching. It looks like there's more protesters there than there was on Wednesday night in Downing Street. I need something fizzy.
No helping you.
Hey, what?
No helping you.
Didn't you have anything ready to talk about tonight then?
Hey?
I said, didn't you have anything prepared to bring up or talk about tonight?
Only really the PTSD camp. That's why I said it might be a short one.
Well, I don't even know if it's open yet or not. They were looking for volunteers to go and help finish building it or something. But
post from James, who is admin. Yes,
Yeah.
Camp Cornwall is open. Yes, it's licensed for camping. Yes, it can be a respite holiday for veterans and families, firstly, before the following infrastructure to come. I predict digger driving and barbecues with live music on the stage this year. If you want to sum up Camp Cornwall currently, picture below, and it's a caravan. In 15 acres of woodland, 2/3 miles from the beaches. I'm really going to need a hand to roll out the vision I have, but the funding is coming. So it's open. It's very early days. There's probably not a lot there, but his picture is a caravan and 2 deck chairs. So,
Well, that's all you need if it's a campsite.
yeah,
As long as you got sanitary provisions and water, fresh water. There are a lot of regulations around that, how you dispose of your waste, but because you can't just chuck it down a normal toilet because of the
Yes.
chemicals you use.
yes,
So,
but if it's licensed for camping, they've got to have be licensed for disposal.
oh
of.
yeah, it would have been checked for all that if it's licensed.
That's what I mean, and that's what I said earlier.
Oh, pardon me.
Looks like he could use a chef.
Yeah, right.
No, he's posted a picture of some sort of cottagey pie, and it probably is really, really nice. but it's got all sorts of, looks like almost tinned veg
That's probably just his tea.
in with the meat. The comment is putting a menu together, and then it looks like mash with cheese on the top. It does look appetizing. But
What would I look like with a Ming beard? Ming whiskers.
no,
Sorry.
I told you before you did that before, and I said no. Told you no.
Oh, you know what I'm like? I'll let it grow and then I'll just hack into it and see what it looks like afterwards.
Half the time you have an accident.
Oh, pardon me. There's a little bit of wind here, Jen. Well, bar mine, but there is a little bit. But it's still a bit cloudy, but no rain yet. Oh dear, some idiot's spraying the police with a fire extinguisher. Oh my lord. Don't quite know what the point of that is, but hey. Oh, what a fucking idiot. There's always somebody.
So,
Right, that's enough of that one. I can see that going off before long. As soon as it gets dark. Well, I don't know who that live stream events is, but he's got 4,500 watching. So. I didn't realise that one. I was restreaming on Wednesday night. There was over 13,000 on there.
yeah.
I'm
Well, he
like,
was saying that. He was saying that to somebody. I think he said he'd gone up to 15, at 14 or 15,000 at one point.
yeah. Just seeing what else is out there. Oh, and Pierce and I abusing their powers. He posted his video. I think it was Wednesday. With the police in Northern Ireland fucking around with one of the lads, Nathan, who does have brain injuries. Yeah, that was quite a bad one. Just seeing what else is. Oh, that's. Oh, that's not even fucking live streams. What's going on here? Oh, look, there's yours. Oh, yeah, there's the public eye one. No, I'm just trying to see if there's any half-decent streams out there where they're discussing things rather than just showing things, you know.
What, so we can shut up?
At the rent.
Oh, well.
I could get the other camera off the tripod and show you my swollen feet.
Well, the thunderstorm hasn't happened. That's gone off.
Well, if it had done, I could have put the camera out on the windowsill.
I know.
I've done that before.
Oh, no.
Oh, why do they keep putting all these fucking adverts on? Which one was that, Stitch? Because I did have it on for a little bit after I shut my stream down. I saw the one the police let walk past, giving it loads of shit at the protesters to try and wind them up. The police didn't arrest him. But the, I can't remember who it was now, streaming, he actually got arrested at the end of the night, and he was just stood there. He hadn't done nothing. But as I said in the video yesterday, they put an exclusion order in, a zone in, and everybody had to be cleared from the protest by a certain time. And they started penning them up before that time happened, which meant people couldn't leave, so they couldn't leave if they wanted to, which meant they broke the enforcement order. So that's why they were getting arrested. Mainstream media said, over 100 were arrested. But there was only, I think it was about 8 or 9 of that 100 that were actually charged with anything. And at the end of the day, those that didn't get arrested had to give their details before the police would let them go, so they could give them an exclusion notice. You had to give them and show your name and address. Everything there was provoked by the police. Every single little thing that happened. What the fuck? Someone totally spamming the chat. Not yours.
What was I going to say?
Yes, there was a lot of that went on. They were taking out women and bloody all sorts. There was one woman there that, she deserved to get arrested with the way she was carrying on. She was just goading the police and kept throwing herself at the police line, but they threw her back half a dozen times, and then they got fucked off with her and arrested her. And I could quite easily see why on that one, but plus some of those they pulled out weren't exactly who they said they were. A lot of those were agitators that the police had been placed in there. Nothing would happen with them. It was all about the numbers, and it was all for the cameras. Every single bit of it was for the narrative and the propaganda. Yeah, Jen, he was one of the GB News reporters. The only reason he didn't have a press card with him, and the only reason they let him go was because one of the coppers recognised him. That was the only reason they let him go. Plus, GB News does like to follow the narrative. They've already been banned from France. They're not allowed to transmit in France. No, not the GB News one. He wasn't an agitator, Jen, but there was a lot of them in there that were. Most of them could identify by what they were wearing, to be honest. So the rest of the police know who they are. But I don't follow GB News or any of them, Jen. I do have my sources for information. I won't divulge them, but I've got people in Ireland. I've got people in Northern Ireland, Southern Ireland. I've got people down in Dover, Cornwall. I've got people all over the place. I've got a couple in Wales as well, down South Wales, not up your end, Jen, that pass on news and stuff. I mean, if you want stories to follow, follow God Bless on Facebook. He posts a lot of different stories there. If people want to go and look at them, investigate them themselves. Yeah, the woman might well have been, Jen. She didn't seem to be with anybody. The blokes were pulling her back and trying to say leave her alone, but it didn't look like there was a boyfriend or a husband or anything there. Because, to be honest, I don't think a man would have let his missus carry on like that. The way she wasn't shouting about it was just embarrassing. I would have walked away from her, to be honest.
Maybe you did.
I wouldn't blame him, the way she was carrying on.
Yeah, but if she's going, I'm gonna get arrested. And he's going. I've got to get up for work in the morning. Fuck off. You know, you do walk away.
Yeah, yes, Jen. I believe there was. I won't say all the bottle throwing and that was done by him. Far from it, but I do believe it was probably the agitators that started that shit. As I say, the police were there literally for the narrative and the publicity. Which is a separate. Yeah, there's several people streaming from up there, Stuart. I only put live stream events on. It looked like the cleanest stream. Public eye is in the front with the people. Live stream events. He doesn't get into the middle of it. He tends to stay on the outside, so you get a better all over picture of it, not just from the perspective of in front of the police.
Oh,
What's that?
what? Just having a stretch. My knees gone stiff.
Well, I don't know if I got room to stretch my bloody great plates of meat out. They're not even in the camera, well swollen. Actually, one of them's gone down a little bit.
Good.
It seems to be more when I'm stood up, like when I done the washing up earlier on. Within 2 minutes, they were up like balloons again,
Yeah, that makes sense. You're allergic to the washing up. Yep.
Yeah, but I wash up with my hands, not my feet. Oh, pardon me.
That makes perfect sense.
Don't know whether that was thunder out the front then. Hang on.
I keep hearing bumps but it's quite nice out the back now.
It's a bit darker out there than it is in here. At the back, like. Oh, you know. Yeah, my legs have been bad for quite some time, Stitch. I've got restless leg syndrome and my calf muscles since I've stopped riding bikes and stuff like that. They just go into spasms and I'll just be laid in bed doing nothing and all of a sudden I'll start getting cramp in them. And I did in my younger days, Stuart, but the trouble is now with the conditions I've got, I don't take authority very well from people in uniform. Unless it's a pretty nurse, of course. They can tell me what to do whenever they want. And if they grab me or single me out, yes, I'm the sort of person that would say, okay, you're going to fucking nick me, but I'm going to take one of you bastards out with me, which would definitely earn me a beating from them. And as me doctors and that have said, any type of injury, bang or knock, if it's bad enough or I just feel pain through it, then I've got to get it checked because it could give me internal bleeding, especially with the rubber tube inside me and the amount of blood thinners I'm on. Plus, any knocks can cause blood clots in me. And this, I know what I'm like, and it's for my own good that I stay away because I do get fired up. And I get to the point where I snap and that's it. I don't stop until somebody takes me down. All right, Steve, take it easy, mate.
Thanks for dropping in.
Yes, Stuart, that's a good thing. That is a good thing, mate.
I think you'll find Stuart, it's not just that everybody's coming together.
Yeah, and this is what's needed.
Yes.
You know, I mean, you look at some of the protests now. I've seen Muslims at the protests that are saying, look, we don't agree what's going on. Yes, we're a Muslim, but we were born in this country and we respect this country. And our fellow countrymen and what have you, they're causing a lot of shit. And there are communities coming together over it all now. But this should have happened a long, long time ago. When people started realising that what the government were doing, that was the time to come together. I think it's gone too far down the line now.
It's getting to the point where people are having to realise back in the day, whichever point you think is the dividing line, and you should have acted then. It doesn't matter which one it is. It was never quite enough, and it's like the Rev said, because I think I've heard it before, but I know he put it out there. You put the frog in the cold water and you heat it up, and the frog doesn't realise till it's too late.
Yeah,
you're cooking. Well, we're cooking now,
yeah.
So it's time. It's time to do something. It's time
drop
to
it straight in hot water. It'll try and get out. Gently heat the water. It'll sit there and accept it.
Yeah. Well, most of us are now realising that the water's hot, so we need to get out. So,
but people are waking up to what a lot of us have been saying for years. They're starting to see now. They're starting to realise that these guys were right, but they've woken up too bloody late.
but even if I don't think it's ever too late. As long as we start to do something, it will help.
Well, unfortunately now, there is only two ways that Starmer can be stopped. One is if the other parties and everybody in Parliament put through a motion of no confidence in Labour. That could force another election. The only other way that he can be stopped is if the King stands up and dissolves Parliament himself, which he has got the right to do. He can turn round and disband Labour and dissolve Parliament without consulting them. That is the only two ways that this fucking idiot's going to get stopped. And if someone don't stop him, he's going to destroy the country. Absolutely destroy it. Oh, let me just answer this.
Anyway, how did we get onto politics? You do
Well,
it
you put me up here, didn't you?
You do it every time. I don't like talking politics. Because we can't. We cannot have a political conversation. So I don't. I leave him to it. Because he just tells me I don't know what I'm talking about and shut up. And I know I don't know what I'm talking about, but sometimes I'm trying to find out. But when I question it, you should go away and do your own work. Go and read about it. I'm like, well, you tell me. No. Got to go and do my own work.
Well,
and
yeah,
that's one of the reasons why I say I'm not going to do politics, because we end up fighting.
You do girly stuff because you know more about that than me.
I don't do girly stuff. That's why I rely on all the girlies to come up.
Yeah, Stuart, exactly right, mate. It's everybody is looking at it now. People that were never interested in politics, never interested in government, they just used to go walk along, get on with their lives, deal with whatever came along. But people now are starting to wake up and see and listen. And yeah, there is a lot of people that still just sit back and, oh, yeah, what happened happens. Well, those are the ones that are going to be losing out because they're not ready for what's coming.
But I have some hope left. You're doom and gloom. You're saying it's too late. There's fuck all we can do. I'm saying maybe it's not quite that bad. Maybe we can do something.
Yeah, and whatever you can do is exactly what the police are doing, putting you down for it. You get branded far right. You either agree or
doom and gloom. Like I said, we don't do this.
you've got two ways of doing it. You've got two ways of doing it. You either follow what Labour says, which you'll have to take whatever they give you, or you'll disagree with it and you'll be arrested eventually because you disagree with them. That's the only two outcomes of what's going on now. That's the only two outcomes. They won't discuss anything.
Neither
they do what they want to do, and they're turning into dictatorship. It's as simple as.
So what do we do?
Well, you either stand up and fucking fight back, or you sit back and take the shit.
So it's not too late.
Well, if you let it go too far down the line where the police are doing this, yeah, it is. If you can't get everybody to stand up together,
so what do we do? I'm going to take you round and round in bloody loops. Because I said I don't want to talk about this, but you obviously do.
Don't talk about it then. Talk about something else.
Yes, dear.
Well, go on then.
Yeah.
I'd rather talk about the boys fighting with the girls in the Olympics.
We'll talk about them then.
So that's
but even in that, the boys are always going to win.
Sorry?
I said even at that, the boys are always going to win, aren't they?
Why are they going to win? Because they're allowed to compete against the girls?
Exactly.
Doesn't mean they're going to win.
But I want to know why the Olympics are breaking their own bloody rules by letting them fight to start with. WEF, Jenny. That's who pulling Starmer's strings. WEF. Yeah, the rule was if you're a biological bloke, you weren't allowed to fucking compete with the women. This year, it seems you can.
But if they've been turned away from other competitions because they did not qualify as a woman, why does that ruling not have any bearing on the fact that they're now trying to compete as a woman again? I'm sorry, if you've been told, no, you're a bloke, you can't compete in the women's events, why can you suddenly compete in them at the Olympics when you can't in the World Championships?
Yeah, the World Boxing Association have banned blokes fighting with women. Well, I thought, well, if there's boxing at the Olympics, that still should come under the WBA rules. So they're breaking the WBA rules by letting them fight. You know?
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. Well, I'm agreeing with you. I don't think in physical sports like that, women and blokes, no disrespect to either side, should not compete together because it's not a level playing field. Now, there are sports where there are level playing fields, but they separate the sexes. Shooting. You know yourself. You've been there. You've seen it happen at the club. Women can shoot every bit as well as a bloke, but they have to. The competitions are in two different groups. Same with archery. Women can do archery every bit as good as a bloke can. Yet they're separated in that as well.
I quite like the fact that you're separated because you stand a better chance of winning because you're not up against all the men as well.
Yeah. I mean,
If there's only three women competing, you'd guarantee them first, second, or third.
England's ladies football team. Now, you know I can't stand fucking football. I don't watch it. I don't entertain it. But I've seen the news report. I've seen clips of the game where the national ladies team got fucking annihilated by a team of schoolboys. But they win everything in their own sort of ladies competition, don't they? Yet they get annihilated by 14 and 15-year-old school lads. You know, there's many sports that that isn't played on a level playing field, where women cannot compete with blokes. And again, there are sports where blokes can't compete with the women, where the women come out on top. You know, I mean, gymnastics. The women are far better at that. Yes, I'm not saying the blokes don't do it. They have their own sections. But the women are more graceful. It's better to watch. You can never get a bloke walking up and down a beam and jumping around and doing twirls and somersaults and be as graceful and look as good as a woman could. But there again, even in gymnastics, you've got the power sports in there that the blokes are better at, like the vaults, the rings. You know, it's where do you separate the two, really?
As far as I'm concerned, though, Jen, if you've got the XY chromosome, you're a bloke.
Yeah.
I don't care what label you put on it. You're a bloke.
I mean, you look at, what's her name? They accused Fatima Whitbread. Was it her?
Yeah, Fatima, yeah.
And there were several Russians and East Germans back in the years gone by with the Olympics. But those ones were proved to have the wrong genes and the wrong chromosomes. You know, that they were literally bred for it.
Well, a lot of them were fed steroids, weren't they? And that was more the issue back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you got women and blokes snooker. Well, that's another thing that both sexes could compete equally on. There's no strength involved. If you've got a good brain, as long as you can work out an angle and you can reach across the table, that is a total level playing field. Same with darts. There's no strength involved in that.
But Fatima was 100% woman. She just trained to the extent that gave her a more masculine physique. But
I mean, there was one. Who was it? The bloke, trash bloke. Oh, it was the weightlifting, wasn't it? Oh, I'm a girl. I'm going to compete against the girls, and he got absolutely fucking annihilated by the women. Oh, you pillock! How embarrassing was that? But yeah, there are sports where it works or could work where both sexes can compete equally, but there are as many sports where they can't, and those where they can't, it's unfair to expect them to compete equally. Absolutely.
But if you, Jen, I know you're only relaying what you heard on somewhere this morning, but if you check chromosomes, the XY chromosome is a sex chromosome found in males. Women are XX, men are XY. So if he's a poor hermaphrodite that has the XY chromosome but physically is female, then yeah, 100%. But is that the case? Because he's been banned from the World Championship, so surely they would have taken that into account.
Well, that is the sticking point, isn't it? I mean, because hermaphrodites are, it is a medical condition.
Yes.
It is a medical problem, and you cannot separate them in that thing. It's, you know, again, it's like I say, it's where do you stop? Where do you draw the line, you know? It's, I mean, I can't imagine what people that are like that go through. I mean, that young lad, well, I call him a lad because he was brought up as a lad, that actually topped himself. And he was only, 15? You know, because he was thrust into the limelight because of it, thrust into the mainstream news, and he just couldn't handle it. So he done away with himself, sadly. I mean, they're on about, well, going back to the kids now, about stopping the kids having mobile phones because of all this shit going on. Well, that's up to the parents. You know, the parents are the ones that buy them for them. They're the ones that pay for the Wi-Fi and the SIM cards.
I don't have an issue with the kids having mobile phones. Donna knows where they are at all times because she's got the tracker on the kids' phones, so she knows when they're at the dad's, where he's taken them. When they go out to play, she knows where they've gone.
I mean, this is what the online safety bill was supposed to do. Was supposed to protect the kids from that sort of shit. But they haven't been using it for that. They've been using it mainly to censor people like me. You know, the horrible shit that you see on Facebook and on YouTube and everywhere else. I mean, I don't see what's on Twitter and shit because I don't go in there, but it's still there. They're still there. You know, if they were doing anything about it and using that act, they'd be taken down.
But that's the problem. They're not looking at anything that's going on, where any of the bullying or anything like that. They're not picking up on that because of the way it happens. It's not as easy to spot. But where you go, something was all made up and it wasn't real, and we shouldn't have done this, and we shouldn't. The algorithms are written to pick it up.
Yeah, but you look what happens. I mean, you know yourself. I've complained about a couple of things on Facebook. To Facebook. A couple of things that have been bang out of order, well out of order, should not be on there. And they do fuck all about it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's what I mean. You can report it and they do absolutely nothing. So what's the point of having that act in place if you're not going to use it? I mean, I knew what it was all going to be for. And I said that openly when they got it through. Or even before they got it through. I knew what it was going to be for. But Ofcom now are controlling that censorship that's been put in Ofcom's hands. You know, it's up to them to threaten the platforms to sort it out. The government have washed their hands of it. The Tories did anyway. So when it all goes wrong, they can blame Ofcom. They can't, but they won't blame themselves. And that's the way they work. And that's what they're setting up now as well. All the building in the country, all these programs, if you look, they're all being set up by private sector companies, private sector money. So when it all goes tits up, oh no, it's nothing to do with us. It's private, nothing to do with the government.
That's how a lot of things work.
Yep, exactly.
And this is how they all get away with earning money and not paying tax on it, because
There you go.
it's earned through their company. You have a company, and the company earns the money, and then you take out what you want to when you want to. But
And when it goes all tits up, who's the one that gets persecuted, the company or the owner? It's the company, isn't it?
well, no, because it'll be a limited liability, so you can't take it out of the directors. Oh, I know.
Yep.
Because
Well, we know actually one person that's been into that, don't we?
What?
But, someone I worked for a little while back. I won't mention names because names get put around, you get into trouble for it. But let's just say it was based at Wednesbury.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. Good evening, Karen.
Oh, hello,
Sorry.
Karen.
Didn't notice you
Sorry,
there.
he's bubbled over me for so long. I've forgotten what I was in the middle of saying.
Oh,
Hang
shut
on, I'll
up,
just
then.
go back.
Drop me off if you want.
What?
You can drop me out if you want.
No, I was in the middle of speaking about something and about to move on to say something else. And you were saying you knew somebody, and now I've forgotten what I was going to say.
Was that your phone?
Yes. But no, it's how it's how the government and everything and how the MPs hide a lot of their money, because I'm trying to think who it was. Oh, Gary Lineker, I think it was trying to get away with. He was doing events through his company. So the company would be paid £100,000, but he wouldn't take £100,000 out of it. He only took a small amount of salary. And then, of course, come the yeah, I think you'll find that's a scam, Jen. That's been floating around all day with different pictures of wigs, him in wigs and him in bras. So, and it's the same picture. Yeah. But yeah, they were trying to say he was avoiding paying tax when it was the money was going into the company rather than into his own pocket, which was legal. That's what I was going to say. Somebody said to me about working self-employed rather than salaried and pay as you earn. And yeah, there's a bit of work involved in it, because you have to do your tax return and you have to pay your own tax and national insurance over. But at the end of the day, there's all sorts of things that you can claim for that you can't claim for as an employee, as a company employee. If you've got to wear a uniform, the company's supposed to provide it. But if you are self-employed, you can claim back the money you've bought on it. You've paid out on it. You can claim for, if you work at home, you can claim for some of your internet, some of your electric, which you can't if you're working from home as an employee. So yeah, pros and cons. And it's the ways round paying tax, and the fact that Starmer's doing something about the non-doms. They'll find a way around it. The accountants will find a way around it. It's not quite that simple, Jen. Income tax is 20% over a certain amount. So once you cross the threshold, you pay 20 pence in the pound. So you earn a pound, you get 80 pence, and pay over 20. And then you've got like 12, 13 pence in the pound on national insurance. So you only end up with about 67 pence in the pound after tax and national insurance. But depending on your tax code and depending on the NI threshold, depends how much you pay, depending on what you earn. So, yeah. And if you're into the higher thresholds, that's where you end up paying 40 pence in the pound, but you only pay 2 pence in national insurance. If these figures are out of date, I haven't done payroll for 12 months, so I haven't checked the figures this year. This is as of a couple of years ago. I don't know. So, but yeah, you can earn a certain amount before you actually have to start paying tax.
And the Tories put that level up a bit, didn't they?
Sorry?
They put the threshold up a bit before they.
No.
I thought it'd gone up a bit. You could earn a bit more.
No, the tax code hasn't moved in years. Conservatives haven't given us anything on the tax code. They've made a change to national insurance.
Yeah.
But they keep changing the national insurance. But it's the tax threshold that we needed changing. That's the one that affects people.
I thought they'd lifted it.
Huh?
I thought they'd lifted it a little bit.
Tax threshold, no.
Okay.
Sure, it's 1275 income tax and current and previous years. Right, yeah. 21 to 22, it was 12,500. 22 to 23, 23 to 24, and 24-25 is 12,570. So in the last 4 years, we've only been allowed to earn £70 more each year before we pay tax. 70 quid since 2021. The year before that, I think it was 11 something. Or just under 12 for 2021. So look, tax threshold 21, 22. Bum. 2021.
Well, that's it. That protest has gone off. There's something on fire there now. I can't see what it is, but it looks like they've set light to something.
I'm just looking back. No, I don't want. Flipping internet. Tax scale. 11,850. So 1819, it was 11,850. It went up to 12,500 and then to 12,570. So that's the only increases since 2018-19. So they've been fleecing us because they haven't put up the NI threshold and the tax threshold, and the NI threshold hasn't gone up that much in those years either. A lot of years it was frozen. So them taking the NI down and promising to get rid of it eventually, after having put it up to pay the extra over to the national insurance fee, to the national insurance, National Health Service, for a couple of months before realising that was a bloody bad idea and they shouldn't have done it. They couldn't give the money back because NI isn't cumulative, so they couldn't do anything to give it back. But yeah, tax and national insurance is
Oh, pardon me.
lovely.
Well, that's what I said. Them tablets give you wind.
Have you got thunder, Jen?
Oh, it's an upside down car they've set light to. Okay.
We need some thunder.
Well, as Jen just said, it's pissing down there. If I remember from the weather map I saw earlier, there's like a big band of showers and storms working its way across from Wales, right the way across the country, like a big line of them. That's it. Sunderland's gone off. Oh, dear now.
They are in a scrap in Sunderland, are they?
Well, I don't quite know because there doesn't seem to be any police around that bit. But there's a car upside down in the middle of a fucking shopping precinct and it's on fire.
Maybe they're just leaving them to it.
Well,
Go and arrest them later. Off all the footage that's on YouTube. They don't have to police now. They police later.
yeah, but they've been given permission basically now, haven't they? Go in, grab the ones that are doing it.
It's
But
Friday.
in London has got a load of facial recognition cameras. A lot of places, a lot of cities haven't at the moment.
Friday night, they're down the pub. They'll do it tomorrow.
Eh?
It's Friday night. They're down the pub. They'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it will get worse over the weekend.
Oh, it will.
But the police have the ones that they use on their big sticks that they use, their facial recognition ones. So that footage will be being reviewed live in one of the vans. So they'll be able to pick people out. But well, that's not a police car that's burning. That's it just looks like a member of the public's car.
Yeah, but when they set fire to the bus, that was just what was convenient, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see who tipped it upside down, Jen. Whether it was the public, well, it had to be somebody from the public. But again, it could be agitators, you know. We know the police are quite happily set light to their own vehicles. That's been proved both here and in Ireland. It's been captured on film. Them setting light to their own shit. So, you know, parking a car there and then going in an hour later and rocking it over and setting light to it is nothing really. Well, I'm not saying that is what's going on, but trouble is before it went up, I'm just trying to scroll back to see where it all kicked off. No, it don't look like there was any police near it, or uniformed police anyway. Oh, there's a couple of lads there been fishing, walking up through with their fishing rods in their bag. Well, they're not interested in it at the moment. They're just letting it burn. So doesn't look like it's in danger of setting anything else alight. Oh well, like we didn't know it was going to happen. Jan seemed to remember a few years ago, bricks and boot. Yeah, most times, I think the Liverpool riots were the last ones a few years ago. There was a couple in London. The real big ones before was the poll tax riots, obviously. But that was many, many moons ago. I don't understand the mentality behind it. You know, that's somebody's property. It's not the police. It's not the government. That is some member of the public's property they've done in there. You know, there's like those silly bastards from Just Stop Oil, innit? Yeah. All they're doing is they want support, but they antagonise the people that they're trying to get support from. It just don't make sense. Oh, there we go. A bit of light on the subject.
Jen, with regards a secondary income off your craft stuff, there's a couple of websites that will tell you what tax you would have to pay on it if you guesstimate an income. What you need to be aware of is what of your income is taxable pay and what's non-taxable, and you need to work out what the taxable is and what have you got left of your tax-free allowance. But if oh god, what they called, oh, it's gone. Free service. Help me, babe. Free service.
Free service.
Yeah. You can go to them about any issues if you need if you could do with a solicitor and haven't got one, or
Cab.
Yes, thank you. Citizens Advice.
Yeah.
Citizens Advice will help point you in the right direction if you can get an appointment with them.
Bear in mind, they work for the government now. They're government funded.
But if you want some help, they will go through with you and tell you how much you can earn before you start paying tax, or national insurance. And that's the numbers you need to know at the end of the day. If they turn around and say, oh, yeah, you can actually earn, I don't know, £2,000 before you start paying tax, you can then look at what you might claim if you did want to sell bits on. But you then have to look at the other side of it, which is if you're trading self-employed, you have to declare that money to UC. You can still do it. There's nothing that says you can't, but you declare that money to UC when you receive it, not when you invoice, when you receive it. And if it's over £1,000 in a year, you must register as self-employed. But it's probably worth registering as self-employed if it's under £1,000, just to stay safe.
And don't forget, eBay checks on everything that you sell as well.
Selling second-hand goods is slightly different to selling new. I don't think you have to register as self-employed for selling second-hand gear on eBay. But what you receive should be reported to UC. Scar, good evening.
Geez.
The other thing, Jen, is if it's a site that is already helping people sell things and make extra income from things like that, they probably can help you. They probably have somebody that knows all the ins and outs. So might be worth talking to them as well. But like I say, it's more complicated than it sounds. But if you don't earn enough, it's piss easy because you don't have to pay anything. It's all about that figure, how much. And you, of course, can control that. And because if it only means, if you can only earn £2,000 before you have to start paying tax, then you make sure you only make and sell £2,000 worth of stuff.
Oh my God, the amount of trolls on that site.
It is the only trouble.
Well, that's why I didn't bother with a lot of the ones on Sunday from the Tommy one in London, because it was literally 80% of the chat was trolls.
Yeah.
And those that weren't were agitators annoying somebody else. It's just can't be bothered with it.
But the people that are causing the trouble are only out to cause trouble.
Yeah.
All they want to do is cause trouble. That it's not for the little girls. It's not about the immigrants. It's not about this. It's not about that. It's about, hey, look, we can go and have a fight.
Well, the thing is that they're using the excuse now that it is about protecting the kids, but it's been turned into the two-tier policing shit. And that's where you get the people that are going to kick off. That they can't have a reasonable protest. There are going to be the ones that kick off, and it will go that way every time.
That's what I mean. You've always got one, and where it only needs one, and that's why they put the agitators out there,
Yeah.
because there's always somebody that will join in if you're not careful.
I mean, in fairness, the one in Trafalgar Square the weekend, there wasn't a lot of it during the showing and the march. And that was simply because everybody was told, don't wear a mask, don't kick off. If you do, the marshals will have you out of the protest. They'll have you out of the rally. So the police had nothing to do because they didn't do it.
Yeah.
But there again, Wednesday night, the one up Downing Street, at the end of Downing Street, I should say, the police started provoking the people because there wasn't as many of them there. There was more than enough police there to handle the amount that were there. So they were able to provoke it. And of course, the ones that didn't want to go quietly, as it were, started on the police. And that's the way it's going to go now. And the police, now Starmer's given them the extra powers and the go ahead to start getting heavy. The police will push it every time now. And you'll find this will happen at every single protest from now on. It will kick off.
Okay. Jen, it's not going to affect you majorly if you try and it fails. It's really not, because even if you only sell a few bits and then decide actually it's not for you, it's not going to affect your benefits. It's not going to affect anything like that. So I'd give it a go if you want to. If you don't think it's too much, it's what would it cost you to create something, and what would your return be, and what would the profit be? Because unfortunately, it's like a lot of these things, the things that take hours to produce, you end up making a few pounds on them, and it's, sorry, I don't mean to be disheartening, but it brings back the Big Bang Theory, when Penny was making her penny favors, and they were all there with the glue guns trying to make them, and Sheldon's working out the profit margin, and it's a couple of pence on each one. And yes, it seems like a good idea, but it's what it actually costs in your time. But by all means, contact the site, get in touch with them, see what they think, see what they can do to help, and work out exactly what you would get, what you could charge for something, what would people pay. It's
the thing is, Jen, what you put there, crafter can't really charge for their time.
That's the problem.
You can't, because you can't put a price on what you put into making something like jewelry or whatever. You know, there's so many mass produced that you would not be able to charge for the amount of time that you put into that. Otherwise, people wouldn't buy it. That's the problem.
But that's what I'm saying. If your beads and things cost you £2, and that the sort of product you're creating will sell for a £5, that's your profit margin. That's your maximum. Even if it takes you 2 hours to do it, that's £2.50 for 2 hours. You know, it's not where the big money is, unfortunately. These little things we can do at home, but the fact that you're doing them anyway and you enjoy doing them, and you don't mind making £2.50 on each one, Even though it's cost you a couple of hours, each £2.50 is £2.50. And that's why I say speak to them, and I'm sure they'll help you out.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, that's why I say you look at some of them things I used to make out in the workshop where people used to say, well, why don't you sell them?
Mm.
I mean, yeah, okay, it's something that's probably going to be worth a tenner, but that's something I'd probably spent 10, 12 hours doing. And you just can't, you wouldn't be able to charge a £5 an hour, otherwise it wouldn't sell.
No,
That's the issue, isn't it?
but if you are doing it to pass the time anyway, then selling the final product for a price, even if it's only a tenner, if it costs you nothing and it takes you 2 hours to do, and you can sell it for a tenner, it's £5 an hour that you weren't getting doing something else. And that's the thing, Jen. Do a load of stuff and get yourself in on a Christmas fair. And don't tell anybody. I didn't say that. I didn't encourage you to break the law.
Or talk to somebody at one of the craft fair that has been doing it a while. If you know anybody, they might be able to give you some advice, you know.
The thing is, what the government don't know, don't hurt them. And there are quite a few people that, and this is why they're trying to get rid of cash, let's face it, because there's an awful lot of people that go out of a weekend and do car boots or whatever, and
Exactly.
it's all cash only. I'll me hand out, you can put it in there. Nobody knows. Who's going to know? Nobody knows what's going on, what's changing hands, because it's cash. It's invisible. You can't watch what's happening with cash. So yeah.
Hello, you little assassin.
And that's the only time that the crafters make money.
It has been raining out.
Sorry?
It has been raining. There's rain on top of the car.
Okay.
That's not
And
melting
yeah,
very
let's
fast.
say it's what you can get for it, and as long as you don't mind being on a couple of quid an hour and looking at actually just making a small amount, the things you're going to make and do anyway, then that's fine. Don't expect to become a billionaire, but it is extra money at the end of the day. Anywho, I'm aching up here and I'm hot and sticky and I want to get in the shower. So, and we're still at 7, so
You're going to call that in, are you?
different 7, but yeah, I think I'm going to actually just talk for 5 minutes. I'm nipping to the loo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll talk to myself. But yeah, JW, I've been watching it for the last 3/4 of an hour. Who is it? Live stream events is streaming it live. They've got just over 9,000 watching at the moment. But he's making it look a bit different to what it is. He's darkening the camera down so you can see the flames better on the car that's upside down. But yeah, the police are there now, keeping people away from it. It can't be that dark in Sunderland, not that early, this early. But yeah, going back to what you were talking about there, Jen. I mean, I used to do the mountain bike servicing, builds, repairs, and stuff like that out in my little workshop out the back. And yeah, I didn't do enough to run it as a proper business. But the trouble is that a lot of the jobs I'd done for people, they were friends or work colleagues. So you couldn't charge them that much. I mean, that was, well, it was Psycho Cycles. That was one of my business cards. But again, it didn't make any money. I mean, basically all it did, the money that I earned off it, it paid for the bits for my own bikes. That was it. It was an advice as well. One of the lads wanted one of the big downhill bikes, proper race bike, and he was looking at $3,500 at the time for one. So because I did a lot of searching for bits on the internet, I actually found a brand new one in a shop down in Somerset for less than half price, simply because it was a larger size, which he wanted, didn't sell. So yeah, it was worth paying for a couple of hours to go down to Somerset to pick it up. But again, I didn't make anything out of that. He was a mate. So, you know, it was just looking and giving him the advice. We rebuilt it. Again, he come over and helped me rebuild it. He bought all the parts, so I couldn't really charge him for that.
But that was also a case of you were helping to educate him so he could look after his own bike. It was
and you know, after a couple of years, he had become quite a proficient mechanic on his own bike, where it was only on with some of the special tools that I had that he needed a bit of advice on, or borrow some tools or something. You know, I did myself out of business in a way, but.
Well, you should have charged for the training course as well.
Oh, in fairness, he has bought a couple of my bikes off me, hasn't he? So.
Oh, in fairness, he's been almost a member of the family forever, so you can't charge number two son, can you?
No, I wouldn't charge him anyway. Enjoyed doing it, you know.
Exactly.
And yes, Holly, if you're watching, I am vaping a bit now and again. I need calming down. Well, did you say you were going to call it when you came back?
I did. Thank you for taking control for that moment. But I was either going to sit here going, I've had enough, I'm going to go, or take a moment to make it slightly more comfortable. But no, it's hot, it's sticky. I couldn't, running around going shopping, things like that, I didn't get to prepare anything. I'd got a few bits and pieces, but I never have anything enough prepared because
what's the date?
2nd of August.
No, I'm just looking at if there is. I was going to say before we go, for those that are watching,
coming up this weekend,
if there is anything coming up the weekend where it is going off, a big protest or anything, I will have to have a look on my StreamYard. I should have quite a few hours left on there. That's what I was looking to see when it renewed, because I only have the free one with the 20 hours, and it renews on Tuesday. So whatever hours I've got left on there, I can use up before the live on Wednesday, because I'll have the new lot of 20 hours. So I will be able
Thinking
to.
Batman. So
eh?
you can. Good thinking, Batman.
Yeah, I could restream. Let me just have a quick check. Hopefully,
Because I
this
was
won't
going to
take me
say,
out of your stream. And I'm
people
opening this up.
are saying things are going off this weekend. So
Well, that's what I'm looking at. Where are we? Yeah, absolutely. I've still got 10 hours left. So if there's a big protest goes off the weekend, I
you
could
can
go
restream.
live and restream it like I did Wednesday. So keep your eyes open for that one.
Right.
The alerts will go out, but I won't be advertising it, obviously. It'll be on the spot thing. Oh, look, there's one going off. Let's go live, you know. But yeah, I've got enough hours there, so. But I'll let you sort
Excellent.
yourself out now then, baby.
Right. Well, you always start us off.
It's that way. Stay safe.
Stay safe.
That is obvious what that means. Stay strong. You know what that symbol means. And stay free.
No.
But you can give
Stay
it the
wicked.
yeah. You can
Stay
give it the wicked
wicked.
on the end instead of
Wicked.
stay free. Stay wicked. I shouldn't really do that one actually because that could get me into trouble. But but it hasn't started yet.
But no, thank you all for coming in. Good to see you all again. I'm glad we can be here for the likes of Lizzie earlier. And it's not a problem. If you're still there, Lizzie, it's not a problem. You can come back anytime, every time. This is what we're here for. If anybody else feels they need to just make contact, please do. And if you are my friend on Facebook and you do need to speak, just FaceTime me. Just FaceTime me. Don't wait for me, because I've had somebody that's been trying to get in touch and I've missed the message. And when it's convenient for you, give me a shout, because I only sit here and look after him. So most of the time it's convenient, and I am happy to be here for you. It's not an issue. So yeah, once again, good night. He moans at me because I take too long saying good night. Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming. And yeah, same time next week. Same time
back
next week.
channel. Same back time. Stay wicked.
Let's hope there's some
Moose.
thunder later.
No, that's the moose, isn't it? That's the bull. That's the moose.
I don't know. I'm going now.
Take
Bye.
care, everybody. Bye-bye.